This week on the Digital Coffee, native story scheduling for Instagram and Facebook is here. Facebook is going all in on audio, and TikTok wants to inspire you. All that and more after this. Good morning, and welcome to the Digital Coffee. This is your weekly dose of digital marketing and social media news for small business. My name is Amanda Webb. I don't know why I sound surprised about that. It's always been Amanda Webb. It always will be Amanda Webb. If you are watching live, I would love you to tell me what is in your coffee cup. If you're a regular viewer of the show, you will know that mine is sadly empty because I do not drink coffee until after the show because it makes me talk too fast and be a little bit manically over the top. So do let me know what's in your coffee cup. If you comment on this show, I will send you a copy of the Digital Coffee newspaper. If you're on Facebook, you're going to get that directly into your messenger inbox. So check that after the show has finished. If you're watching on YouTube, I will post a link and it will be a pinned comment right at the top. So you'll be able to see it afterwards. And you should also see it already pinned to the top of live chat. So if you want to answer my question of the week this week, I want to know, how often do you swipe up on an Instagram story that has a link? Or do you just go, I don't really want to leave Instagram right now? I'd love to know your answer to that. Good morning to Catherine, who is drinking a cup of tea. And yes, I swipe up. Yesterday it was on Naomi Campbell to see her Kenyan resort house. Ooh. Let's start dreaming of holidays. I was in the shower this morning, just, dumpling would do me. But I think it's that time where you just would love to go on a summer holiday, isn't it? So yes, do that. I have lots of news for you this week. I'm just going to collect my things together. And while I do, why don't you watch Kyra?
Hi, I'm Kyra Fingleton from Glamping Under the Stars, and you're watching The Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb.
Instagram story scheduling was something you could only do kind of clunkily, even when you could do it through third-party tools. But not anymore. The problem with those third-party tools, it wasn't the tool itself, but you couldn't create your Instagram post using Instagram features using those third-party tools. So stickers and text and GIFs and all that stuff wasn't available to you. And that's why I am super excited that now we have native story scheduling, both for Facebook and for Instagram, within the Business Suite app. If you have Business Suite, it's the app. I don't know if it's working on the desktop version as well, because they haven't given me that yet, but definitely working in the app. And what's lovely about this is when you are scheduling a story via Business Suite, it gives you all the features that you would normally have on Instagram. So it gives you stickers. Basically you can construct your story just as you would as if you were on Instagram, which I think is brilliant. You can also upload a video up to a minute and it will split it into those separate shots, just like it would on Instagram, and you can decorate each one separately. The downside is that the story scheduling timings are 1 minute apart. So if you want to put up a multi-clip story, you can do two things. You can put each story element a minute apart, which just seems like an awful long time, a whole minute. You can try and put them all out on the same minute, but what I discovered when I was testing this during the week was actually that you can't really decide which order they go in. They went in the opposite order to I wanted them to. So there will be a bit of experimenting there. All in all, though, I think this is fabulous. I think this is a really great update from Facebook, because as business owners and social media managers, It's a pain having to be online at the right time to schedule your content, or using one of those third-party tools and not being able to use stickers. So this is a big thumbs up from me. I can see we've got some people joining us now. Good morning, Ev, who's got a cup of coffee. So jealous. Good morning. Second cup of the day, tea. Yes, I can do tea. And I'm thinking maybe my tolerance of coffee is going up, so I might try it. I might try it again before next week's show. We'll see. But I do love my cup of coffee once the show finishes. Do let me know. We had Catherine, who does swipe up on Instagram stories. Do you swipe up to access a link on Instagram stories? And if so, how often do you do that?
Hello, this is Rob Charles, the voice of Mike on Forever FM on Peter Kay's Car Share. BAFTA award winning, I've got to say, but I've not seen the BAFTA yet. Anyway, you're watching The Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb. Enjoy. I'm on tea. Shh.
Facebook has realized that audio content is big. It's a big thing this year. And we all know that, right? We all know that already. But Facebook are going to respond to this by launching a whole suite of audio tools for us as businesses, or us as users. I don't know if this is coming to businesses yet. And there's some really cool and interesting things here. Firstly, that you're going to be able to send little sound clips that are like special effects that will be built into Facebook. You're going to be able to send those to friends. And I'm thinking of this is almost like an audio version of a GIF. It's a way to respond to a conversation. If you don't want to go, uh-huh, or yes, you'll be able to send kind of a response that might be a little bit more creative. So I do like that idea. I'm wondering how much I'm going to listen to this stuff, but I do like the idea. The second thing is that they're going to give you a whole lot of tools for creating audio content. And one of these is amazing. So what it does is you can record a conversation with someone else, and it's going to block out the background noise. And I'm not talking about just making their voice a little bit stronger and there's still a bit of noise in the background. It like completely strips out the background noise. It's so impressive. If you want to see it in action, I'll post the link underneath when we finish the show so that you can read the article and you can see the video of how this will work. That's exciting. You're going to be able to record little audio snippets, which will be like audio tweets, I'm guessing. So that's another type of post that you'll be able to put up. It doesn't need to have to be a long form piece of content or a conversation. You can just put up like a status update, much as you might if you were writing text, which is great. You're going to be able to run live audio rooms. So if you're in a group, or if you're a public figure page, you'll be able to host these in the group or as a public figure, or you'll be able to host them with friends within Messenger. And this is like Clubhouse or audio spaces. You don't need to put your makeup on. You don't need to do your hair. You can be sitting in bed and you can join in these conversations. But what makes it better than Clubhouse, at least, is when it's attached to a social network, I always think, is that you're communicating with people you already know are interested in what you do. And specifically within groups, this could be a great tool to use. You're going to be able to listen to podcasts directly within Facebook itself. You won't need to leave the app to go and listen to a podcast. They're also rolling out a whole lot of new features for podcasters to help them promote their podcasts. So this is a whole sea change for Facebook. And just to mention as well that they are thinking about accessibility here. So there will be auto captioning, because we know that, audio content isn't going to be accessible to everyone. So they have thought this out and planned it. As a business, the fact that Facebook says it's going all in on audio is important if you are marketing on Facebook, because it means that the likelihood is, just like happened when they decided they wanted to go all in on video, all in on live, over on Instagram, all in on Reels, the likelihood is if you post audio content, you're going to get additional reach. And audio is so hot right now. I do think it's worth you looking at the potential for having an audio content strategy. I'm not saying you necessarily all need to jump on it at once, but as a business, it could be something that you could throw into your content marketing mix to see how it performs, to see if your audience really responds well to it and if it results in sales and leads, which is the most important thing, whilst not taking up a huge amount of time, which I do think is the problem with the likes of Clubhouse. I'm excited about this. I'm excited to experiment with some of the new tools. You know, reach is so pants on Facebook right now that I'm kind of excited to see this evolve. Good morning to Barbara from Well Expo. Thank you for joining me on YouTube. I'm always delighted to see people there. So, we knew they were going to be launching a version of Clubhouse, but actually this is way more, and it'll be really interesting to use some of these tools.
Hi, I'm Lee from Wellshot, and you're watching The Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb. Cheers.
That Apple iOS 14.5 update that we know is going to have a detrimental effect on our Facebook ads is here. It's coming next week. Apple announced this on Thursday at their event that the new operating system was coming, and we're going to have to face it. After users install that app, our Facebook ads are going to be a little bit harder to measure and to target. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Apple are updating their iPhone and iPad software to give extra privacy controls to users. So when you access Facebook after you have updated your iOS software, you will get a little notification asking you, do you want Facebook to track you everywhere you go? And I'm just guessing here, most people are going to say no, I don't want Facebook to track me everywhere that I go. So that will mean that suddenly Facebook will be cut off from all the places where it could both measure results. So at the moment, it knows when a Facebook user clicks an ad and they go and open up the thing on mobile and they go and buy from you. So the signals that people have purchased or downloaded your thing or visited your website will be disrupted by this. They won't be able to measure it as accurately. Only on iOS, Apple devices at the moment, but we know this is going to be rolled out more to other devices because users are really beginning to care about privacy. The second thing, you might go, well, that's fine because I don't sell anything directly via Facebook. The second thing is that it's going to affect interest targeting. So one of the things that makes Facebook's interest targeting so powerful is that they do follow you around the web, and they know by the websites that you visit what you're interested in. That's why if you go and look at a watch on a website, suddenly you'll see lots of watch ads appearing on Facebook. They won't be able to do this, so the targeting won't be so accurate. There are some things that you can do about this. I'm not going to go into it again because I've done it on 2 shows already. But if you look at John Loomer's stuff, he has a whole host of articles on what you can do to still get some sort of tracking from Apple devices. In Ireland, it matters a little less because there are more Android users than there are iPhone users. For businesses like you and me, maybe if you're B2B, that's going to matter a little bit less because most of your users will be on desktop. But the thing is, it's not just this Apple update. We are going to see an Android version of this update. We are seeing browsers closing down on privacy. So we do need to find a new way to deal with our marketing in the future. Good morning to Ginny. Ginny says she agrees audio seems to be hot at the moment and perhaps easier than live video. It's definitely easier because just from one prospect, you know, when I set up in the morning for my live video, this starts very early in the morning because I have to set up my office, my camera, I have to make sure the lighting's right, I have to make sure, well, the microphone would still stay, I guess. I have my little device for putting, you know, different clips on. Then I have to go and do my hair and my makeup and make sure I've got something nice to wear, not just slobbing around in my hoodie. So, all of that aside from the content takes time. So I'm guessing, having some sort of audio version of that would work. I don't know how many people actually watch this show without watching this show already. There is a good chance that there's a good few of you that listen to the audio version. So it will be interesting to see how this evolves.
This is May King from The FOMO Creator, and you're watching The Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb.
So this is a little bit exciting. Instagram are working on a new sticker, a link sticker. So you will actually be able to add a link sticker to your stories with a link to an external website. But before you get too excited, we don't know a lot about this already. We don't know, one, this is obviously a test, something they're considering. We don't know, will you still need 10,000 followers in order to post a link? We don't know, will that link only work to go to IGTV or an Instagram reel? But I do like the idea of this because although swiping up is something that is very familiar to hardcore Instagram users, I'm sure there's a lot of people now joining Instagram who don't understand the whole swipe up thing. So actually by having it on screen and being able to click that will make a lot more sense to users who aren't familiar with the Instagram ecosystem. It's could be prettier because you might be able to click and get different styles. Will you be able to, if there's a sticker, the way that if you just put in a username or a hashtag, you don't need to use a sticker, you can just put it in. Does that mean you're able to just put the link in, which may be a bit ugly? Will it be a button or will it just show the whole link? All of these are questions we do not know the answers to, but it does suggest to me, the one thing it suggests to me is that we know social platforms don't want to send people off platform. That's a big thing for them. They want to keep people on their own platform. But it does make me a little bit, is word happy? I don't know, happy maybe, that they are realizing that businesses will always want to send people off platform. So to give us a tool that allows us to do that, I'm really excited about. And hopefully, you won't need your 10,000 followers to do it.
You're watching The Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb.
There's a new Google search algorithm tweak coming. We've talked about it before on this show. It is Core Web Vitals. It's coming in June, and this is all about the usability of your site, the user experience on your site. So some of that is down to speed of elements loading on your site, and there's a whole bunch of other things that are involved in that too. And that means that if you do well, if you get a good score for your Core Web Vitals, there's a chance that you could appear higher in some search results, which is great, right? Because when people are searching, you want to be at the top of those search results. And what I think is great is that Google have given us a new tool so that we can see. So rather than just going, well, I don't know how to fix that, or even if there's anything wrong in the first place, they've given us a tool. I'm looking for it here. There you go. There it is. It's part of your Google Search Console. So if you don't know what that is, if I've just talked a lot of jibber jabber and you have no idea what I'm saying, Google Search Console is a tool that links to your Google Analytics. If you haven't set it up yet, it doesn't take long, definitely worth doing. Just search for Google Search Console and you can just go through the process of signing up with your site. And what I love about this, it will tell you a whole lot of things about your site and how you can improve it. But here is, I think it's my report from Google Search Console on how I'm doing for my Core Web Vitals. And you can see there's a few red letters there, but in general, I'm doing quite well. Now this gives me something to give to my web developer to say, can we work on these aspects of my site? Because I'm hoping it's going to push me higher in search. And I love the transparency of this from Google. They're actually helping us create better websites. And that's what Core Web Vitals is about. It's all about websites that people will trust more, that will be able to use efficiently and hopefully get you better results. So I think that is good news.
Hi, I'm Carmel Siri, and you're watching Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb.
More good news from Facebook. Well, I think it's good news. Facebook are testing giving users the option to subscribe to topics. If you're a Twitter user, and I know some of you on Twitter, so you are, this will seem familiar because Twitter lets you subscribe to topics too. And what I like about this is it's giving the algorithm some personal input. So if I say I'm interested in cats, the algorithm will go, oh, we totally missed that she's interested in cats. As if we'll show her more things about cats because that's a topic she said she'd liked. I'm thinking this could be related to the iOS update because, of course, if they're getting less data from the websites we visit, this is a stronger way for them to get data about the things that we're interested in. But I also think, if you are a business who sells cat-related stuff, I've said I like the topic of cats, there is a chance that you're going to get into my news feed, which you may not have got into before. So as businesses, if we can make sure that we're posting content, not just about what our business does, but the topics that our audience are interested in, it could mean that we'll reach people that we've never been able to reach before, which I think is really good news, don't you? I can see I've got a new comment here from Ginny. Our SEO chaps use Search Console for improvements. This new development is great. Yeah, Search Console is so good. It's such an underused tool. I tend to, when I say Google Analytics, some people look at me guiltily, like I've got it, but I've not looked, or I know I should have it. But Search Console is one of those things that I think a lot of marketers, particularly if you're not in the SEO sphere, don't know about. And Search Console is fabulous. And it's great that they'll be able to go, hang on, your site's not really performing this way. So I think, yeah, you're right. It's fabulous. I'm so glad they're giving this to us.
I'm Ian Anderson-Gray and you're watching Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb.
The biggest problem with TikTok, I think, for marketers, for businesses and marketers is, and I'd say if you're a social media manager, this is a total nightmare, is creating content because it's a very special sort of content on TikTok. And I think that's the roadblock. That's what stops businesses using that. And I know the same goes for Reels and any of those short form video content tools. And TikTok, obviously, if it's going to make money, wants businesses on their network. They want them to use their network. They want them to use their ads. So over the last few months, they've been adding lots of tools and features to help us understand how to create better content. And this week, I thought I had a picture, but I don't. This week, they're launching something called Creative Hub for Businesses. Now, you're only going to be able to access this if you have a business account on TikTok. I didn't have it when I do have a business account, but I didn't have access to this when I looked yesterday, but maybe it's popped up today. But what it is, it's going to be a space to inspire you to create content and help you create content. You'll be able to see trending videos about business or from businesses. And I think this is so important because as much as I'd like to go on TikTok and participate in some of the trends and create some of the funky videos that they're creating, it might get me lots of followers, but it's not necessarily going to have any business impact for me. So the fact that you'll be able to see just the trending videos from businesses themselves could inspire the sort of content that you could make and the ways that you could use TikTok. But they're also going to have cheat sheets, videos, ideas, and tips within that creative hub. So if you are considering TikTok, definitely get yourself a business account, go in there, have a look at the videos that are trending and just see if that can inspire you to create. Would that make you look at TikTok again? Are you using TikTok for your business? I think most of you aren't. I'm not. I've got an account, of course, but I haven't started using that yet because we know it's just a time suck. Okay, that is it. That is it for the social media and digital marketing show news that you need to know this week. I will be back next week, same bat time, same bat place. See you then.